Hey guys, what's going on? It's Matt Marinoff, Real Estate Recovery Group. My co-host today is Irene Popoletsky. Did I nail it?
Irena Popolevsky. Hey,
Irene
everybody.
Popoletsky. Sound like a tasty sandwich. Popoletsky.
Oh, and we forgot Pinky's here too.
Pinky is here too, but Pinky's not pink. So this young lady has been in real estate since 2002. She's a realtor broker. She's licensed in both New Jersey and New York. And she never, I guess, expected to fall in love with real estate the way that she did. I guess you got into the real estate industry for rental properties, fixing them, and I guess turning them. I see turning houses. People say flipping. Flipping houses to me, I think, is a dirty terminology. I think turning houses sounds nicer, and the banks like to hear that you're turning something versus flipping it, because I think it has a stigma to it. And I think that basically for them, for whatever reason, I believe that they think that, you're making quick money, you're not doing anything. But anybody who's really in the industry will understand and know that that is not the truth. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about, 2002. Why did you get into the real estate industry?
Okay, so I was in the insurance field before, and I decided that it's time to start investing some money into an investment property. And I said, well, I wasn't really sure about how to go about it, and I didn't want to really bother anybody. So I said, I'll get my license and do my own researches and figure out what I want to do. So what happened, my aunt called me one day and she said to me, I have these friends of mine, they've been working with a realtor for a long time. They can't find a house. The realtor's showing them everything that they don't want. Can you help them? And I said, okay, I'll help them. Let's see. Got on a call with them, interviewed them for about 30 minutes, 45 minutes, asked them a million questions until I felt that I totally understand what is it that they're looking for. Went on the MLS, did my research, picked up 3 properties, took them out, and they bought one. And I'm like, wow, this is awesome. But it was more like the idea about really being able to kind of get into their head and really understand what is it and actually finding it to them and bringing it to them, which made me completely fall in love with the business. So back then, I kind of dropped the investment part of it, and I totally started doing real estate for families. So that's how it went.
And what year was that when you realized that was something you had passion about?
This was 2002. Yeah, that's kind of happened I would say 2003 probably, yeah.
So before that, you were actually fixing houses and
No, actually, I have not. I have not had any experience. I bought my own house in 1999. I moved from Brooklyn to Staten Island. Mm-hmm. And that was also like something that just came. I said to my husband, our son is about to go to junior high school. I think we should move and we should buy a house. And my son was actually my weekend buddy to go and look for houses on Staten Island. Mm-hmm. So yeah, no, I haven't even gotten into that until 2008.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So in 2008, everybody knows what happened, right? Mm-hmm. So my husband came home one day and he said he had a client who's losing their home. And he goes to me, babe, do you think you can help them? And I'm like, I have no fucking idea. I have no fucking idea. But I said it again, sorry. And
well, everybody knows who watches me that my lives are for mature audiences only. So
I know. Great, thank you. And I said, yeah, let him call me. And this is how I began my short sale journey as well.
So what year was that?
2008.
Okay.
Yeah. So I didn't know what I was doing, but I was determined enough to get on the phone and call anybody in the bank that I could possibly talk to and get guidance from them and what is it that they need in order to make that happen.
Right.
I did short sales for the entire duration. I closed them all on my own. So I didn't have anybody like your company is that you can go to and just deliver the contract and let them take it from there. But I want to say that it's a blessing because I got to learn a lot. And I was able to help a lot of the families because I knew a lot. So I knew exactly, are they going to qualify? What's going to happen? What's going to be the end result for them?
Makes sense.
Yeah. What I have done, though, is I've bought properties in an auction. And I've flipped the contracts right as soon as I went outside. I only closed on one. So this is an interesting story for anybody who's afraid of or wants to get into, like I call it flipping properties. You call it what?
Turning houses.
Turning houses. Okay. What happened to me was I closed on the property right before the crash. But there was a tenant in there who happened to be the homeowner, which I didn't know because the property looked like it was, it was debris everywhere, no windows. I mean, it was horrendous. But back then, to flip it like this was $250,000 profit just to sell it to another investor. 6 months it took to evict this person, and the crash happened right before it. So from $250,000 profit, I left the closing table with $15,000, which I still thought I did great, because if you don't lose money, that's an amazing thing.
How did you go from a $250,000 potential profit to $15,000 at the table?
I know it was because the property was distressed because the market just shut down. Nobody knew where things were going. It was an upcoming area, and a lot happened.
But you're saying, basically that you legitimately went from a potential profit of $250,000 to $15,000 at a closing table. People are listening to this and they're probably saying, I call bullshit.
No.
Well, you're going to have to back it up. So tell us a little bit about what really happened and why that happened.
There was a lot of issues with the zoning during that time.
Mm-hmm.
Everything got very restricted.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, the profit probably would have been as little, but during that time I had a partner in this, and I can't really go into details, but what happened was, in a way that I just wanted to part with him and get rid of the property and get rid of him. Let's put it this way.
I understand that, but so again, people are looking at this, and you're talking about $250,000 of a potential profit. When was the $250,000 in profit in play, and then how long did it take?
So there was a 6 months period from the time that the property was purchased at the auction all the way through until we actually were able to sell it to somebody else and get rid of it. 6 months period. During that time, this happened. But when I'm saying $15,000, I'm talking net. So I'm taking into consideration all the expenses that were to hold it, all the expenses with the lawyers. In New Jersey, I think that you guys have a better way of evicting tenants.
I think it's called baseball bat, but go ahead.
What? I'm sorry.
I said in New Jersey, I think it's called a baseball bat.
Okay. Here in New York, we're having
I'm kidding.
But yeah, so it was just like honestly, I just wanted to get rid of it and just call it a day. And I'm talking about $15,000 is the, let's count 30 because there was a partner, so it was a 50-50, so 30,000. Yeah, but that includes holding costs, insurances, taxes. Our taxes are not cheap here either. I know it's not as much as New Jersey.
Right.
The property deteriorated during this time as well because we went through the winter months. The place was a mess. It was a mess.
Well, I understand the messy part, but again, people are going to want to talk to you probably about what had happened during this transaction. So I would say if somebody has a question, they could reach out to you
Yeah,
directly.
100%. Yeah.
If you want to know how,
The reason I brought that story up is I'm saying that a lot of people are scared of getting into the real estate business, and I'm not talking about from an agent or broker perspective. I'm talking about from investing in their future.
right.
Creating some kind of maybe passive income or anything like that.
Mhm.
They can make money without going to work. Let's put it this way: at some point in their life.
Mhm.
And they're scared because of they don't know what's going to happen and how to go. So the important part about investing, I would say, is doing the numbers right. You gotta take to consideration what's the best case scenario, but you have to make a decision as far as what's the worst case scenario. That if you find yourself in a situation, let's say like we are right now, where we don't really know what's going to happen.
Right.
You have security. And I always say, if you didn't lose money, you did good.
Right.
You're not going to make money all the time, but if you don't lose money, you're doing excellent.
But you know what? Even if you lost money and you were educated enough and you got the education that you need, like there's a lot of people that spend a lot of money in education and they are perpetual learners and they do nothing.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I have a lot of respect for the fact that, you had the balls to come on here and say that, you lost that much because unfortunately, most people don't want to talk about the negative. They only want to talk about the positive. They only want to talk about the wins. Nobody ever wants to talk about the losses. It always comes back to that post that's always floating around on Facebook where it's an iceberg and you see success, but nobody talks about what's beneath the waterline.
Exactly.
The struggle, the fails. Actually, there's a picture right behind me on my wall. My big head out of the way.
Uh-huh.
And it talks about failure or success. And there's a ton of failure to get to success. And even when you have the success, you can still fail. But it's like what Rocky says in the movie.
I love that movie. My favorite.
How hard you get hit. It's how many times you get up from being hit.
That's right.
Which is true. And I've been hit in the face a hell of a lot. So I get all that. And it's important and people need to understand that. So, I think what people need to understand during the time that we have right now that we're speaking is that, you've been in the industry since, 2002. Obviously you have a good support system there. It's you and your son?
No. My son is not in the same thing. It's me, and I have 5 agents that work with me.
No, I meant in your house.
It's me, my husband, my little doggy. My son's married. I'm a grandma, actually. I have an 18-month-old grandson.
Got it. And you found the fountain of youth, so that's good.
I try.
So let's talk about the team. You have 5 agents that work with you. They don't work for you. I know you have the same train of thought that I have as far as, being on the team and having team members. What's it like with the team? What are they feeling out there during the COVID-19 period?
Honestly, people in general are not responding, in my opinion, are not responding to what's happening the way, let's say, I would like for the majority to. And I'm not just talking about my team. I'm talking in humanity in general.
Right.
People listen to a lot of negativity, and they absorb it and they make it their own, and the sky is falling and it's the end of the world. I look at things differently. My team, I have to say, the people that are with me, I motivate them all the time. As soon as they, we're like a friends and family. We talk very openly.
Right.
I always pump them up with the positivity, the way I look at things. I say it like this: every situation has two sides to it. There's never any good without bad, and there's never any bad without good. It depends which way you want to look at it. If you look at what's happening, you say, okay, what positive can I make out of it? How can I adjust what I do, or what should I do? Let me come out of my comfort zone. But today I'm doing live with you. I told you this. I've never done live in my life. I'm like, I was so like, just my mind was racing. And then I said to myself, oh, come on. I just, it's whatever's going to be is going to be,
It's not so. So you overcame a fear, which was great. The fact that you would actually admitting it on live, and that this is your first live, I get in this type of form, it's even better. If you didn't say anything, nobody would have thought any differently. But now that you said it, now they're gonna watch to see how much you fuck up.
Hey, you know what? One thing I learned, and I'm an immigrant. I mean, I've been an American for 33 years. But one thing I've learned that I don't think exists anywhere in the world is it doesn't matter what kind of publicity you get, but publicity is what you need. So if people are going to judge me, I'm okay with that. I got to tell you something. I tell my friends and my associates and everybody who I'm close to, I always tell them like this: listen, as soon as I turned 40, everything changed. I just did not, all of a sudden something clicked in my head, and I'm like, you know what? That's ridiculous. Nobody cares. You're the only one who cares. So I tell everybody, do what's uncomfortable. I've got to where I've gotten because I've put myself in situations that was outside of my comfort zone, including my whole real estate career. You would not put me on camera even if you put a gun into my head or give me $1 billion. And now I do videos and I do all of that. And, the first one is always the suckiest,
Not necessarily.
No.
I've done quite a few, and apparently not all the not everything that I do, even with some of the current lives, I've gotten negative feedback, and I get it. I like the negativity of the because it's critiquing, and if you can't be critiqued and you don't have thick enough skin for that, then really you shouldn't ask. So it brings it all back to if you want to know the truth, hold on. If you don't want to know the truth, don't ask the question.
Exactly.
So I ask all the time because I want to know.
I gotta, I wanna get out of this conversation for 1 second because I wanted to tell you something. I met you not too long ago. I went to your seminar. It wasn't a boot camp. I don't know.
No, it was a workshop.
Yeah, a workshop on January 1st of this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say, because I think it's important for people to know what resonated to me when I was looking for a short sale group on Facebook, and I've come across a lot of them, but I only went with, I followed yours, and I wanted you to know what was it. It was.
Oh, I already know what it was. It was my good lucks.
No, stop it. There was something in what I read that really spoke to me because it identifies with me, and that was when you say people before profit.
I knew you were going to say it.
And that's like, you spoke to me. It was like, this guy I can relate to because we think the same way.
Right.
People always told me, I always tell people, I've never been in this business for the money.
Right.
It's the thrill of getting things figured out. It's the thrill of helping other people. And when I saw that about you, I'm like, this is it. Like this guy, that's it. And I went to your workshop. There was, like I said, January 1st. I was at a New Year's Eve party. I came home at 7 o'clock in the morning. We had to be in New Jersey at that time. I didn't even go to sleep. I came in like a zombie.
You came in like a rock star.
But yeah, I just want, and I got to give you credit. You doing 2 lives a day, every day. Man, that's exhausting. I know, because I've led a team and I've done meetings, and that's energy draining. So kudos to you, Matt.
So look, at 12 o'clock, listen, at 12 o'clock, I do it's more information and education, Monday through Friday. It's Tuesdays and Thursday nights, unless there's a special edition, which I have to tell you, we might actually do, Leah and me, because they just announced yesterday about the deferments that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are offering now to people on their mortgages, whereas it was the forbearance, but now they're actually working with people. And that's something that Lee and I are going to be talking about in great detail and bring it out to the general public. That's going to be, I believe, a perfect, special report announcement. But the Tuesdays and Thursday nights are about people that want to dive deep, people that, want to get more involved. They want to learn more. They want to talk more about the education. They want to find out what is available out there as far as courses that are coming up and stuff that, can be offered. Tonight, I have a gentleman, he likes to go by the name Uncle Carl. And he is actually going to be talking about non-conditional. I'm trying to think of the word. Lost the word here. Completely different side of real estate, meaning like unconditional real estate. So it's a different force or side of it that people don't know that it's aware of it. And he loves title work that's messy. So we're going to be talking about title work. We're going to be talking about, seller financing, how to actually purchase a property with zero down and take somebody else's mess over, which, based on the market condition that we're in right now, people keep asking, Matt, how bad is it going to be? I'm actually happy that, there are some changes that are coming up with the guidelines with, Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae and stuff like that, because that's important. And people really need to find out what their options are. And I love the fact that you get, when I talk about, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, what the forbearance is, and they can defer the missed payments to the end of their loan. That's what it is that we're going to be talking about. And because doing that, it's totally different than 2008. They're trying to, offer up solutions right now based on what's going on. Everything's been pushed out apparently another 30 days as far as the memorandum and other things that are available for people to try to help them so they don't slip into the same type of issues that we had before. But I want to be clear that what they're offering right now, this is for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac loans only. This isn't for portfolio loans. This isn't for private lenders. So people need to understand, and they need to contact their banks. And that's the issue. And I want to know if you agree with me or not. One of the main issues that I'm having with homeowners now and for always over the last 15 years is that people are, they're like zombies. They literally bury their head in the sand. They don't want to hear anything. And they're going off the stories of other people that the issues don't relate. So people need to smarten up. What's your opinion on that?
I happen to agree, because I know a lot of people. I mean, you're dealing with another aspect of this. Sometimes people are just embarrassed to even inquire. And even if you offer yourself and you say, look, let me talk to you about your options, there's no obligation, but it's my duty as, let's say, as a professional, since I'm out there as a service person to the community, right? Because that's the business that we're in.
Right.
it's my obligation and my duty to at least make sure that you know your options, and then you can do whatever you want to do and make your decision. People, I mean, from my experience last time around, people are really embarrassed. And yes, I agree. You can get a million different answers from the same place. From you talk to 100 people, you're probably going to get 100 different answers. The unknown, the people who work at these places, they might be misinformed as well. And unfortunately, if you don't know what questions to ask, you may not get the right answer for yourself. So I'm happy to hear that that banks are doing something about it. They're trying to work things out, because I think everybody understands that real estate as a whole is a big part of our economy, and
Right.
and revenues and stuff like that. So I don't think we're going to have a disaster like we had back then, but I'm sure there's still going to be people who are going to find themselves in a mess if they're not going to reach out to people like yourself or myself.
Right. So I just looked, and apparently Leah, my assistant, Leah Chambers, actually posted in the Short Sale 101 group the information regarding Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So if somebody is watching this and they want to know more about short sales, obviously they can go to the Short Sales 101 page that's on Facebook. You have to answer the 3 questions. If you don't answer the questions, you're not going to get in. I'm looking now. There was 6 people that tried to get in today, and out of the 6, it looks like only 2 of them answered questions. If you don't answer the question,
follow directions.
you're getting deleted. And I'm actually looking. I have stats here, and it says, and this is actually, it's kind of sad actually. Out of the, I think 42 people that tried to get into our group this week alone, 42 people. To date, only 27 of them were accepted into the group. It's a perfect example. You got to follow. You have to follow the questions. You have to give answers. We're not going to let people in. We've had people with fake profiles try to come onto our group that run other loss mitigation companies, which cracks me up. I tell people all the time, I don't look at people as competition. I look at people as opportunities. So, instead of being a hater and really showing yourself as a follower, just give me your information when you come onto the group. Don't make a fake profile. We're looking at people's profiles. We're looking at stuff like that because we don't want people that are going to come in there that are going to yap. And we've actually had to remove, I think 2 or 3 people so far that tried to push their services in my group. And my thing is, like, right now, we have, we're approaching 1,400 people now in the group. And these are people that we're not just letting in the group. We want people inside the forum that we have for the Short Sale 101, because everybody can post whatever they want on Facebook. I say fake book, not Facebook, because it's fake. So I had to create this group for the Short Sale 101 as a private page so people could have a place where they could go, they could ask questions. I asked a question yesterday, I got 38 responses. So to me, that's great. And, we have leads of people, we're trying to help. Now, other people might look at this and say, well, Matt, you're doing your live, you're marketing yourself. Yeah, I am. I am marketing myself because there's a lot of people out there that don't understand the characteristics on how short sales work, right? Rules, regulations, and guidelines.
Right.
Now, you have a firm grasp in it. So I want to ask you a question. Based on all the years of experience that you have in short sales, you can hurt my feelings. Did you feel like you wasted your time when you could have been sleeping when you came to the workshop?
No. First of all, I'm going to tell you, I never think of anything as a waste of time. Through my entire career, I've always went on to different workshops and seminars. I'm a true believer that if you come out with one thing and one thing only that you didn't know before, or met somebody that you didn't meet before, you're already a winner. And no, I don't think so. I think you had everything that you said I knew was the real deal, so no, I did not. So I'm not going to hurt your feelings. I'm actually very blunt and brutally honest. So if you don't want to hear the truth, don't ask, but go ahead.
Yeah, but I appreciate that more than you know, because sometimes I feel like I have a lot of yes people around me, and I don't want that in my
I don't
life.
like that either.
So I'm almost at the point right now that if you are a yes person and you're basically like this and you're guessing me to death, please don't, because it doesn't help me grow as a person. And if I ask a specific question, give me an example. I'm in the best shape of my life right now. Well, you look at me and you go, "You're fat, dude."
Wait a second. Are you wearing pants?
I'm not.
I am. See?
Well, listen, you brought. You brought. Hold up.
No, don't get up.
You brought it up, so.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm not. I'd rather have people be open and give me their opinion, because I'm not interested in being with people or have people around me that aren't willing to achieve success. So, which was with the next thing, right? So, it's about achieve success. People look at different things differently, right? So, you had talked, or you made mention here about achieving success with your clients. The information that you gave me on you, there's nothing in here about how much fucking money you can make, or how much money you could, that you deserve or that you earned, which I have to tell you is pretty impressive. There are topics here that we could talk about, and sometimes I like to just kind of freestyle it a little bit with people, because you're very down to earth. When I met you, you gave me a big hug, you gave me a kiss on the cheek. It's crazy. But you could tell that you're an affectionate, caring person. And that's important. And there's too many people, I think, in this industry that are in it for the wrong reasons. Now, I bring this up often now, and I want to get your opinion on this. People that are in real estate sometimes shut it down like a 9-to-5 job. Can't shut it down like a 9-to-5 job. You're an entrepreneur.
100%.
What do you say to people that, and obviously you've been in business for a very long time, although you're only like 35 or 40. So when you're interviewing somebody and you're asking them, what their impression is on the real estate market or why they want to be involved in real estate, does anybody ever say anything to you that right off the top of your head it's not going to be a perfect fit?
100%.
What would that be?
The first answer is it's about the money, or it's about the what do you call that? Now I forgot the word. Flexible schedule. I'm done with that. There's no way in the world, if your motivation is money, you're not going to make money. People are not stupid. They can tell where you come from when you're talking to them.
Right.
And if you can fake it, some people, let's say, can fake it, you're going to be like a hungry wolf in the wild for the rest of your life. You're never going to be happy. You're never going to have repeat business. You're always going to be hunting and hunting and hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Flexible schedule is totally bogus. If you think you're going to have, you got to be on all the time. Like, let's think about a realtor's day, for example, right? I'll give an example of mine. I've always had a strict to-do list on a daily basis, no matter what. So I had to focus on my marketing every day. So I'd be 8:30 in the morning. I'm on my computer at 12 o'clock. I'm out and about in the field. But what I'm saying is you gotta fall in love with what you do. Then you never work a day in your life.
That's true.
You're passionate about what you do. And I saw one of your lives, I think, or something. You said that I just lost my train of thought. You said something about, you said, I don't really want to do this. I like to deal with the banks and bust their chops and all that stuff. That's your passion.
Oh, I was talking about not being a real estate agent. That's not sexy to me. Sexy is try to jam a square peg into a round hole.
Right. For me, it was the same thing. I got my license because I just wanted to be an investor and I didn't want to bother anybody because I felt like I don't even know what I want. What am I going to tell a realtor?
Right.
And I fell in love with the business because I happened to fall into a situation where somebody asked me for help and I did it. And I'm like, wow, I'm really like passionate about it. And so that's really what, but it's not, anything you do, if your main goal is money, you're not going to be successful. You got to love what you do.
Right. No, I agree with that 100%. That's the problem, I think. I think people become what their parents want, what their families have done, what generations.
No parent want their kid to be a realtor. Give me a break.
No. I'm talking about, well, that's not true. I mean, if you have generations of real estate agents, you do want them in the family business.
Maybe.
So I'm going to disagree with that. But as far as like why people are doing what they're doing, people talk about like, what's your why? Like I grew across the street. Ironically, he's an amazing motivational speaker. He's an accomplished writer. And to me, he's just Simon. But apparently, Simon Sinek is a huge thing. He's a huge guy. And anybody who understands who Simon Sinek is, I just know him as Simon from across the street, him and his family. Like when they would go away on vacation, his father, no joke, would give me the keys to his car. I pulled out of the garage and he wanted me to basically drive it around because he didn't want the car to just sit idle. I'm not gonna say what kind of car it was, but I'll tell you what, it's a fun car to drive. I'm not gonna lie. So you never know where you're gonna come from. You never know where you're gonna be. You definitely never know where you're gonna end up. And most importantly, you could be on Skid Row. You could live in a car, and then you could be a multimillionaire. But you never know. One day you might be living in that car. Maybe not the same car. But the point I'm trying to make is that, especially in this type of industry, service industry, treat people the way you want to be treated. And I know you do that. And the fact that you came in and you could tell you were shot. I mean, don't get me wrong, you're pretty, but you look like you were shot out of a cannon.
Yeah.
When you came, which was fine, but you paid attention, which I thought was really great. And I look forward to being able to work on transactions with you. You've expressed wanting to work with my company, which I think is great. And I get that a lot from people. And it's funny because people because I do coach agents. I do coach, teams. And some people have the train of thought, which really annoys me. Well, am I going to, if I take your class, do I get a CT credit? And it's like, well, you don't get a CT credit, right? But you're going to get it back in dividends, right? You're going to be able to make money. One person that took the class, I don't remember the exact dollar amount, but let's say the class was $279 or whatever the hell the class was for the one day. They made over $16,000 on a short sale. So I don't know. You tell me. You want to pay $300 to make $16,000. It's all relevant. People have a different, way of thinking.
I got to tell you, I mean, a lot of people, unfortunately, do not invest in their businesses. And what I mean is I'm not necessarily into equipment or marketing and stuff like that, but in self-education.
Mhm.
Like I said before, um, if you don't, even if you come out learning one thing out,
Mhm.
out of even 3 days that you spend on education, you still ahead of the game. This is something you have now that you didn't possess before. This is an additional uh, tool that you have to help other people that you may not be able to if you didn't know that. And yes, yeah, I agree. Even when I have people that I associate myself with, and they're like, well, is there credit for this or is there credit for that? And I'm like, okay, I honestly, I just can't deal with this type of attitude. I'm sorry that I'm so blunt.
Right.
You gotta invest in yourself in order to to succeed. You must. Like when I came uh, to your workshop, my husband's like, "You're crazy. You didn't sleep the whole night. We were drinking and partying." I said, "Yo, I signed up for this. I'm going. You could go to bed." you know.
You're a savage. You know what would have been funnier? If he drove you there and he slept in the car. That would have been funnier because you know what? I would have gone outside and done a live stream with him sleeping in the car. So, you mentioned something about being a broker owner versus being, an associate agent. So, obviously some people just get it just to get it. To be a broker, they want to say they're a broker. I'm a broker, but I'm also, a realtor. So I'm a broker, realtor, or however you guys use the terminology. Do you find that there's a lot of people, because I talk about the barrier to entry to becoming a real estate agent, and I've talked with people that have taken the test 7 times. Listen, if I took my real estate exam, I don't know if I would pass it because what I think is right and what is right in the real estate world is completely different. I will tell you this. What I have learned is that the technology that people have, and it always seems to pop up, whereas the agents don't take the time to understand how to work even the regular MLS, even for some of the free classes. So, I appreciate the fact that people are willing to vet out people that are not serious. Having a flexible schedule, I mean, Christ, everybody wants to have a flexible schedule. I'm actually working harder now. I love it. Or harder now in the last 2 months than I have in a very long time. I want to show people that I say I'm doing it to stay relevant, but I'm really saying I'm really doing it because I want other people, other agents, other people that might be coming or thinking about becoming a real estate agent or an investor or a real estate agent that is just completely like bottomed out and they're just like depressed, lost their pipeline, the buyers, furloughed out, can't get qualified for a mortgage, lost their job, whatever it is. So this is a time on the 12 o'clock show to show people, look, there are other people out there that are doing it. They're not calling it struggling. It's a passion. You just got to keep going. You agree with me on that?
100%. 100%. You just keep going and going. And what you're doing right now, what you're doing from what I see from the outside, is you're taking this time to accomplish a specific goal. And I would take a guess, and correct me if I'm wrong, I would take a guess that yes, you want to give knowledge and insights to people who follow your group, who follow your page.
Correct.
So you're giving to the community in this kind of way of bringing people along from different types of avenues of this industry, and we get an opportunity to just speak our minds, and everybody has their own experiences and what have you. But I can also say, and I'm big on anything that has to do internet and social media and stuff like that, as far as, and I know that you understand that this is the way to go now. So in the same way, yeah, you're going to benefit from it too, obviously. I mean, why shouldn't you, right? So you're creating a presence for yourself as well. You're getting people to join your group. You get more exposure, and it's perfect. Why not? I'm doing the same thing right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, 100%. So I had messaged Leah about doing something regarding the whole Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So she agreed with me.
That's important. That's important. I got to tell you this much. The one thing I feel that I would like for you to do more is to have more knowledge about the New York situation.
Okay.
And actually, I might invite you to my live and we can talk about that.
So you have your own lives?
No, I don't. I told you, today is the first time I'm doing live.
Oh, so you're going to do a live?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. All right, let's do it.
Sure.
Listen, I'm game for it. So apparently at some point today, Leah and I we're going to go live and we're going to talk about Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and the information that we posted in the Short Sale 101 page. We're only going to talk about it on that page. So if you're not a part of that group, you better join the group and you better answer the 3 questions. Because if you
don't tell me, because I'm a part of the group.
You're in the group. You're in the group. And the group isn't that old, which is good.
Yeah.
And it's grown very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And we have an average now. So I think there's about, almost 1,400 people in the group. We could have had well over, which blows my mind. I think it's 8 months old. We could have had over 3,000 people in that group. But it's not about the
quantity, it's about quality.
You got it. It's about the quality of the people in the group. I don't want people that are going to come in there, they're not going to read the post, and they're going to throw up some stupid post about their dog named Pinky. Nobody cares.
Hey!
Oh, your dog's name is Pinky?
Yes.
How named your dog Pinky?
Hey!
You know my dog's name?
I want to touch on the success part because you made a good point. If you want to be successful, you got to be persistent. You can't do something one day and then say, oh, I don't feel like doing it today. Even if you're not in the mood, I'm sure you're not in the same mood every day. And twice a week when you do the evening lives, I don't think you're in the same mood all the time. I mean, people forget we have feelings and we're people too. And we have a shitty day and a good day. And we also deal with failures and things like that, but you got to keep going. And that's why one of the things that always kept me on track is I used to sit down way before, the internet was the way that it was. I used to buy during Christmas time when everybody is Lexi Daisy and, taking it off and stuff. I used to buy a year's planner. I would sit down at my home office and I would write my schedule out for the entire year for the day-to-day things that I had to do before I even went out on the field or even spoke to a client.
That's pretty cool. That's impressive.
So if you ask me what I can say to somebody who wants to make it, be consistent and be persistent. It's not going to be good every day. You're probably going to have more of the not so good days than you're going to have the good ones. But the good ones are going to spring, it's like a spring into the next level. So yeah, go ahead. I know you're not listening to me anymore. You're typing.
The problem with this StreamYard is that there was an issue with Facebook. So I'm going to give you an example. Since you're trying to call me out.
Oh, stop it. Move on.
That's not nice. So then when Andrew puts on here, he's new to Short Sale. Got it. Got it. But you don't see his name. There's a link on the bottom of these videos when I post it, and apparently you have to be okay with, having your information, I guess, posted.
Yeah, maybe.
And it might be because of the fact that Zuckerberg got nailed for like $100 million or something ridiculous by pushing out people's information without their requests or whatever. So you put it here, said biggest mistake you'll ever make if you do this one thing as a broker. What's that?
Okay, so the question, the people get into being a broker for many different reasons.
Hmm.
I would assume that the main reasons for most people would be to build a business and to make money off other realtors who are working in your company.
Hmm.
The biggest mistake that I think people would make if they would ever want to be a broker is to stop doing your own business. And I speak from experience because I've been a broker owner for 10 years. So I opened my real estate company in the end of 2010, which we still were in like a disastrous market.
Right.
And the biggest mistake I've done is that I stopped doing my own business and I just managed my office and I trained other people and I gave my leads away and my business away. So now, 10 years later, I'm not a broker owner in that company anymore. So I'm actually starting from zero, but with a lot of experience.
Hmm.
So if anybody is going to be a broker owner, do not stop doing your own business.
So you're saying that you could cut it back, but don't like just stop practicing being a real estate agent.
Yes.
How many years did you do that for?
10.
Think about how much money and think about how many people you could have helped.
I don't think about the money, but I think about that it's like I'm starting from zero with a lot more experience and obviously a lot of insights that I didn't have before.
But you and I are going to talk about that when we get off this live, young lady.
Okay.
And you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
So, listing, work obviously with, working with, listing agents, listings, sellers and buyers. Which do you prefer?
Honestly, it depends, but I love both. If I get a buyer, I love first-time home buyers, first of all, because it gives me the opportunity to lead them the right way, give them the right information, listen to them, and point them to the right, and give them recommendation based on really what it is that they are expressing to me. I work with buyers, and sometimes they want to buy a house, and I'm like, yo, that's not for you.
Mm-hmm.
And when they ask me why, I tell them, well, you told me, ba, 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 and now I'm okay with that if you're okay with that, but it's my job to make sure that I remind you of what you're trying to accomplish here. Sellers, I've sat down with sellers at sellers consultations, and I would tell them, listen, if you really don't really need to move right now, don't. I don't think it's the right time for you to sell. If they still, so people used to tell me all the time, oh, you lose so much business like that. I said, I don't care because I need to do the right thing because it's for them. It's not for me. If you give people what they want, you're going to get what you want in the end.
Well, listen, to me, that makes sense. And a lot of everything that you're just talking about right now is a lot of common sense. I think the problem is that you can't teach common sense. So you either have it or you don't have it. So you might have the best intentions, but you could be a complete moron. Meaning that, hey, I want to show real estate. You go into a house, show the house. Who knows? Maybe you use the homeowner's iron because the iron is there, and you want to iron your shirt real quick before an open house. And then you drop the iron down on the ironing pad, not thinking that you left it on. It's still plugged in. It's still hot. You go home, and then you get a call from your broker, and the broker says, "Yeah, I think you burned down somebody's house today." Not saying that is actually a true story, but I think that would be.
I was going to say, please don't tell me it's a true story.
That would actually be, I think, a funny story to be in a movie. Whatever. You know how my brain works. It's not normal.
You can't be normal and be in this business. I got to tell you.
No, definitely not. How's it going with virtual showings? Do you like virtual showings?
You know what? Yeah, I think it's cool. I still don't think that it gives you really, because if you rely on the homeowner to walk around. And I've done some listing consultations through, FaceTime, because I'm trying to get them to say, okay, I'll do a Zoom with you and you can walk. But so far I got people that are not comfortable with that. So I got them into doing a FaceTime with me and walking around. I feel like I still have to be in the house, but just so you know, I just purchased a 360 camera with a stand with a program that does like a 360 ceilings, floors, everything. And it actually gives you the ability to see really exactly the condition of the property. So I'm really excited. I'm doing my first this Saturday. I have 3. Why do you shake? What?
No, everybody keeps talking about these 360 cameras.
But it allows you to actually feel like you're walking inside the house. And I think it's a great.
How much do they cost? I never even asked.
They run between 500 to 1,000 and change. No, don't say. I don't know how to whistle.
I saw that.
But I'm going to tell you something. Hey, this is your business. I'm telling you, things are not going to be exactly the same like they used to be.
No, I'm saying because after COVID-19 dives down, that same camera is going to be $175 to like, $380. I get it. Everybody's got to make a profit. I understand that.
Listen, to me, it's an investment in what I do in my business.
Listen, you're doing it for your clients. I get it.
Right.
So you're doing it right there.
But the thing is, I think that it's going to be a long, long while before people are going to feel comfortable just walking into people's houses, or sellers are going to be comfortable just letting showings the way we know them to go on. So I think this new way of virtual showings are going to be kind of like the new norm. And in a way, I think it's not a bad idea, because it eliminates just people who are either curious, they're not going to buy this house anyway, it's not what they like. So it's going to let the buyers on their own time. You don't have to make an appointment, which is great.
Right.
Look at the house anytime you want to. The homeowner can prepare their house only once, for the initial presentation, for taking photos, doing the walkthrough tour and all of that. They don't have to constantly clean their house.
I want to ask you a question, because that's a really good point. So what happens if, oh my God, this is great, it's gorgeous, whatever, everything is then you show up and I'm like, yo, what happened here? It's like they don't clean their house. What happens?
No, I mean, okay, so no, I don't see it like that. What I see is like, now when the buyer who saw that on their own time, they feel like, yeah, this is their house for them, and then they will go and do a showing. You'll have your seller obviously clean the house before they show the property to a person who's already thinking about a purchase. I got to tell you, when I work with my homeowners, the process sometimes takes an average between 1 month to 3 months for us to prepare their property to be on the market.
Nice.
I have them do everything ahead of time.
Okay.
Because why not? Why deal with it? You're going to have to pack anyway when you need to move. So why not pack now? Why not get rid of all the junk you're going to get rid of now? Why not declutter now? So everything has to be, I take my time, and I'm very, very much into detail of all of these things.
Right.
Before I even put the property on the market.
Nothing wrong with that. Listen, I like having you on. You got a certain.
I enjoyed it. Thanks for breaking me into the live.
you have a certain spunk about you, which I think is pretty cool. So.
And I haven't had my cocktail like I said I was.
You didn't do it?
No. See, I'm having water.
I wasn't going to say anything, so I think it's fine.
I told you I'm blunt. I'm bad. You either love me or you hate me. There's nothing in between.
No, I could see anybody hating you. So, guys, if you want to reach out to Irena Popolevsky.
Irena Popolevsky.
Close enough. You could reach out to her directly. You could reach her at 917-579-4455. And that is the best way to reach out to her. last night I was playing around on the computer, and I had some ideas or different things for hashtags for you,
Mm-hmm.
because apparently you don't have any. So I came up with a couple.
Okay, you want to reveal them here?
Well, I mean, listen.
We'll make people vote on it later when I share it on my Facebook page.
Well, they're going to look at so it's on there now, so you have it, so you can take a look at it. And I think they're pretty catchy ones. So you keep the ones you want, and I guess bag the ones you don't.
Oh, I think you messed up on make moves. It's supposed to be with Irena, right? And it says make moves IWTH.
Make moves, yeah. They're not for nothing, but I was doing those at like 1 o'clock in the morning.
That's why I told you earlier that you work late. You're tired, man.
That's a little bit of my dyslexia there popping up. Anyway, so I don't spell well, but anyway, as far as moving forward, if anybody wants to reach out to you, obviously the best way to contact you is on your cell phone, which I appreciate the fact that you put that out there like that. Most people want to do all the hashtags and everything else. You're strictly hardcore. You know what? Maybe take your phone number and do it as a hashtag. You could do that.
Yeah, that's unique.
I've never really seen anybody do anything like that. So I appreciate you coming on. I think it was fun. I think it was educational. It's good that people got to see you. Announcement, yes, October, we're planning on doing the boot camp live in New Jersey. But based on what's going on, I don't know if it's going to be live. So we are working on a virtual version of it, so people can get basically the same effect, and they can stay at home and they can sit in their shirts, and they don't have to wear pants if they don't want to. They can chill out in front of their computers. It's a different era, but I appreciate everybody coming on. So at the end of every show, I ask people to do the finger point because I want to see if they can do it. So I'm going to ask you, can you do a finger point?
Do I need to count 1, 2, 3, or just do it?
Pop it out. Nice. I like that. I'm only going to give you 6.5 because you're shooting at me. You're not pointing at me.
Okay.
That was cute. I like it. Thanks so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. Hold on. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to end the cast. Hold on.